From 6 p.m, Greater Sydney, Wollongong, and the Central Coast will be on lockdown for 2 weeks. Gladys Berejiklian, the Premier of NSW, made the announcement after additional 12 locally acquired COVID cases were discovered in the state and new exposure sites were discovered. The lockdown will be in effect until midnight on July 9th. We don't want to impose burdens unless we absolutely have to. Unfortunately, we have to, Ms. Berejiklian said. If we're going to do this, we need to do it properly. There's no point doing a 3-day lockdown and then having the virus continue to bubble away in the community. The decision was made following a cabinet crisis meeting conducted by the NSW government. Premier Gladys Berejiklian declared following a crisis cabinet meeting that residents in the impacted districts will only be able to leave home for urgent reasons. People may only leave their homes for employment, to purchase for necessities, to seek medical attention, or to provide care or compassion. The NSW government has always prided itself on taking the expert health advice, Ms. Berejiklian said. Even though we don't want to impose burdens unless we absolutely have to, unfortunately, this is a situation where we have to. It comes after 12 new cases were recorded in NSW, and exposure sites expanded beyond the previously identified hotspots to encompass towns such as the Northern Beaches and Western Sydney, where people could have been contagious for days. There were 29 cases reported in the 24 hours leading up to 8 p.m. on Friday, 17 of which had already been revealed, bringing the total number of patients in the cluster to 80. Over half of the patients had not been isolated from the beginning of their infection. What we're finding is by the time we've got to some of those cases, they've already transmitted, Chief Health Officer Kerry Chance said. That means there have been a number of people that have been infectious in the community unknowingly for a period of time. Health Minister Brad Hazzard also asked for patience and cooperation as authorities try to figure out how to stop the outbreak. The Delta variant is proving to be a very formidable foe, he said. No matter what defensive steps we're taking at the moment, the virus seems to understand how to counter-attack. During the lockdown, Mr. Hazzard emphasized the need of avoiding any unnecessary travel. Don't play games with yourself and with the community. Please stay at home unless you really need to go out or you have one of the 4 reasons, and even then, think twice before you do it, he said. Ms. Berejiklian added that support for businesses, as well as the federal government's COVID-19 catastrophe payout, would be revealed in the coming days. She asked people not to panic by or be concerned about money because stores would remain open and financial aid would be provided. It's never easy when all of us have to face these circumstances, but we're all in the same situation. We've had to do this before. We know the drill. In a week, authorities will reevaluate the need for the lockdown, but Ms. Berejiklian said it is unlikely to be reduced. We could assess after 7 days, but I want to be very upfront with the public. This will be for all intents and purposes a 2-week lockdown, she said. I don't want to take away from that, but if there is a dramatic change and the health advice says that we can get out of a lockdown earlier, we may, but I'm not anticipating that. The best advice from health is that we should brace ourselves for additional cases. Regional NSW has also been subjected to restrictions. Each family is limited to 5 visitors each day, masks are required indoors, and weddings and funerals are subject to restrictions. All hospitality must be seated, and the 1 person per 4 square metre restriction has been reinstated, with outdoor events limited to 50% capacity. The limitations are necessary to prevent the virus from spreading to other parts of the country if Sydney visitors unintentionally carry it there, according to the Premier.